You are now listening to
The Really Joe podcast. Really Joe.
So today we have a very special guest. We have Cam, who's agreed to sit down with me. We're gonna talk about some serious stuff today. Um, Cam here recently, she came out and she let it be known, to her social media following that she was victimized by a young man. What was it? About a year and a half ago, you said.
Mm-hmm.
And she kind of put it out there, and I know it's a lot that comes with that. Even though I hadn't been in that situation myself, I've just sat back and saw it. So I know it's going to be some good, it's going to be some bad, and we're just going to talk about it a little bit today. But let me say, first off, Cam, thank you for sitting down with me and sharing your story with me.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's no problem. It's no problem. So, how can I put this in a good way? So should I say sexually assaulted or raped?
Rape.
I don't want to stir up anything.
That's what it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the guy that you put out there, that took advantage of you on a certain night, it's a guy by the name of Tyler Dixon. So Tyler Dixon, who just happens to be from my hometown, Hope, Arkansas. I don't know him. He's a lot younger than me, but it was a guy you met. How did you first meet him?
We met at a party that was down here, Magnolia, Arkansas. I forgot the name of it, but that's where we met. And I remember my friend I think he had spoke to her, and he just kind of spoke to me too, because I was just there or whatever. And she told me, "Oh, that's T Dixon, the Alpha, or whatever." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So that was that, and we ended up exchanging social media, like Instagram. We ended up exchanging Instagram, and yeah. So that's how we met.
Okay, all right. So you got introduced. What was that? 2020 or was
it 2019, sometime in there.
2019. Okay, all right. So I'm guessing y'all probably just did the normal, text every once in a while, and maybe respond to each other on social media every once in a while.
Yeah.
Okay, so
it was real casual.
Right. Okay, yeah. So the funny thing is, I don't know too many people that know him, but most people that I've saw that know him, like personally, or has been around him, they always say, "Man, he always been weird," or he gave off a weird vibe.
Yeah.
So would you say it was the same for you when you first met him?
Not when I first met him. No, I'll be honest. Not when I first met him. No, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. It was as we continued to like text occasionally and hang out. We hung out on a few occasions or whatever. It was then when I picked up on some weird vibes, but I just thought he was weird, not like this kind of weird.
Right. So like what were the weird vibes, that you kind of picked up on?
The way that he would say stuff, the things he would say, like there was one occasion where he was hosting some party. It was in Pine Bluff, and me and my friend went or whatever. And we ended up hooking up that night. And the next morning, she came to the hotel room or whatever, and we was all just in there chilling or whatever. And he had whispered something in my ear about her, like, I think she wants you to blank, and it was something sexual. And I was like, I said, no, I said, we don't we just best friends. We don't do that. We don't get down like that. And
Right.
he like was looking at me. He's like, but you'll never know until you try. Honestly, I thought he was just a dude being nasty. I didn't think nothing of it. And then I like told my friend what he had said, and she was like, "That's weird." Then I started thinking. I was like, "That is weird."
Yeah.
So that's one that comes off my head, like that comes to my head, like off the top.
Okay. So now when you say hooking up, do you mean like just getting together, hanging out, or do you mean like being intimate?
Intimate.
Okay. So you and Tyler have been intimate at
Yes.
at some point before you came out.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So if it's not too personal to ask, was it like on more than one occasion or just one?
Yeah, but yes, it was.
Okay.
But it was here and there. Like I said, the night of that party that he had hosted, it was a time then. Um, there was another time, it was another party in Magnolia where I'm at. It
Mhm.
was then, you know,
Right,
just
right.
little occasions like that.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I understand. So it's kind of,
Yeah.
hit and miss one of them. Hey, I'm in
Yeah.
town. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I get
It was
you.
like that.
In the fact that you've been with a person before intimately,
Mhm.
so you wouldn't be bothered going around this person again any other time, right?
Mhm.
So
Exactly.
so on the day of the incident, I'm pretty sure you got the vibe like it's gonna be, like it's always been.
Yeah, chill. Well, see, um in April of 2019, that was the last time we had, because we have the same birthday actually.
Yeah.
So our birthday weekend, he came to Magnolia and we hung out, and we were intimate, and that was it. That was the last time we had ever been intimate. There were some occasions where I would be in Little Rock or I would be in Whitehall, which is where I was staying at the time, like with my mom,
Hmm.
and he would hit me up just like any other time. Hit me up, oh, I see you're in town. Come chill with me, come stay the night with me. It was like that. But at the time, I was talking to somebody, so I was not trying to, you know, I wasn't trying to mess with him. But when I would tell him no on those occasions, it was never a problem.
Right.
Like
Okay.
it would just be like, "Nah, I'm gonna pass," or "No, not tonight." It was never ever a problem.
Right. Right. All right.
So when I when he had hit me up about the night that everything had happened, he told me it was just a kickback. So of course, I didn't see no problem with going.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Especially, I mean, somebody you got history with, at least a
Yeah,
little bit of history with, you know, what's the worst that could happen, right?
exactly.
So yeah, I mean, I completely understand that. And so on that, it was December 2019.
Mhm.
So whenever y'all were hanging out, I know it was one thing that I saw, that you had
Mhm.
put out. And I'm sure, and a lot of people probably commented and felt the way about is when he kind of called you a derogatory name. He called you a bougie, bougie
Yeah.
derogatory name.
Yeah.
So so I'm sure a lot of people would say, why would you still hang out with him after that?
Um. Basically, because you know this one my first go around with him. Of course, if that was my first time hanging out with him and he called me, something like that, of course I'm gonna be looking at him like,
Right,
you know. But we would talk mess to each other all the time, so that didn't bother me.
right, right. It's kind of
When he,
normal.
yeah, it was like the way I talk to my girlfriends,
Hmm.
So it was, it didn't phase me.
Right, right. I got you. Just being respectful. I'm gonna skip
Mhm.
over, the incident because I don't want you to keep having to relive it.
Mhm.
But what made you come forward and put the information out there about him taking advantage of you?
Um, because it started, which I don't know if you've seen it. It started with this girl. She had kind of exposed and outed this Arkansas photographer for being inappropriate, or I
Yeah.
actually didn't. read that story. I mean, somebody sent it to me, and I was like, dang. And I saw on Twitter, my friend had sent me some screenshots from Twitter that they was talking about him, and this girl, she had made a comment like, after we get done dragging blank, I don't want to say his name, we need to talk about a popular Greek rapist. And my friend sent it to me. She was like, girl, she was like, who do you think she's talking about? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know.
Right.
And then she put his name out there, and my friend sent it to me. And I was like, OMG, like, I'm nervous because I'm thinking she's talking about my situation. I'm like, how did she find out? Come to find out, she wasn't referring to me at all. She was referring to other girls, like situations that she had heard. And so my friend was like, I think you should say something, because now would be the time, because they just, outed this photographer basically. Like, it's time to say something. And I was like, I don't know. I want to say it took me about 2 days after the photographer stuff had happened for me to post that, because I was nervous. I was scared. Like, it was something else. Like, I actually typed it up and I reread it, and I was gonna post it one night. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. Like, I had typed it all, and I was like, I can't do it. And so the next day comes, I'm sitting here thinking about it, I'm rereading it. I was like, I still can't do it. And I was like, but I really want to. I really, really want to get this out. So I actually drove to my older sister's house, and I let her press the post button for me because I just couldn't do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
was it because you were more worried about, what's kind of like the backlash from it?
Yes. Yes.
And so I'm guessing whenever the incident happened, you had to have told your friend for your friend to try to tell you, hey, you need to say something.
Yeah.
I got you. So this is one of the things that I hate about situations like this. Have you realized whenever a woman comes out and says that a man took advantage of them, they treat that woman the same way that they treat a black man when he gets shot by the police?
Yes.
They bring up all like in your case, I'm sure they're gonna bring up your sexual history.
Yep.
They want to bring up any past relationships, how you dress, you know what I mean, where you go, how often you go out. And it's like, man, that has nothing to do with that moment. You know what I mean?
Nothing at all.
And it's kind of like, it has nothing to do with the moment, for one. And then I hate it when people say, I don't think this person, kind of like, you remember that, did you ever watch Love and Hip Hop Atlanta? Do you remember when K Michelle came out and Rashida said, I don't think he did that to you? And it's like, you don't know that man,
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, you don't know people when they go home. You just know them when they're around you, and they could be cool and great people, but you don't know them. You don't know what they do in the dark. You know what I mean? Like, it kind of seemed like it's more in the black community. I was gonna do this video the other day, and the reason for it was gonna be about how you don't really know people. And it was a story that I found. It was a guy. He was from somewhere around Galveston, Texas. In 1990, he kidnapped, raped, and slit a 8-year-old girl's throat.
Oh, wow.
He moved to Arkansas. He wasn't caught until 2009. But everybody in Little Rock that knew him, they was like, "Oh, he was a good guy. I never thought he would do that." You don't know. You don't know people.
You never know.
What I mean? And it's not fair for you because it takes a lot to come out.
Yeah.
Like,
it's crazy that you said that, because it did a lot to me mentally, even though it was a lot of good comments than bad. It was. it still drained me mentally. I had a headache. It was like a migraine. I like was about to be sick. Like my sister had to go get me some medicine because
Mhm.
I was about to, I was like nauseated. And I was telling her, I don't understand why I feel like this because it's a good, like, the comments are good. People standing, behind me. I didn't understand, like, I just couldn't understand why I felt like that.
Right.
And it was honestly because my nerves were shot.
Right.
Like it took a lot out of me mentally, even though it was a good outcome.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, that's understandable. One thing that I did want to ask, and I know some people do this,
Hmm.
but after the incident that happened, did you keep like all your clothing from that night?
I threw. It was matter of fact, it was a red romper from Fashion Nova, and I threw it away.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
you just didn't want to see it at all.
no, not at
Like
all.
like I'm pretty sure you probably just didn't want to be reminded of that.
Mm-mm.
I got
No, I threw it away.
yeah, I got you. I read that you went into a dark place afterward.
Yeah.
Could you like kind of let us know like what that dark
Um.
place was?
Yes. See, I have battled depression and severe anxiety for a while. So when this happened, I was kind of at not a bad point, but it wasn't just the best either.
Mm,
I was, I was okay. So when this happened, it's like it did something to me again. It took me back to a place that I never thought I would go again. Um, like for one, I can tell you one thing that I kept doing. I was showering all the time because I felt disgusting. I was showering all the time. I didn't want to talk to nobody. It was one point like I quit talking to my best friend, like was
mm,
not replying back to anybody. I didn't want to talk to nobody. I just wanted to be alone. Um, and actually, when because this was during Christmas break, so when school started back in the spring, it actually made me more promiscuous. I'm not gonna go into details on that,
right,
but I don't think a lot of people know that when something like this happens to you, it does make you like more promiscuous. And I remember my friend sat me down. She didn't know what had happened, but she had heard that I was basically kind of my name was getting out there, like I was doing this, I was doing that. And she was like, I don't want you to be labeled as, you know,
right, right,
it was a derogatory term.
right, right,
And I like started crying. I just broke down to her and I told her what had happened. And she was like, I think you should get some help. So I did. And I remember my therapist telling me that that's very common when a girl goes through something like this because for her, she go out and just do stuff because in her head she's just trying to gain back the control that she lost.
hmm
And that when she said that, it did something to me because that's exactly what had happened. Because I was drunk, I didn't have no say so, I didn't have control over anything that happened that night. And that's exactly what I was trying to go out and do is regain the control that I had lost.
right. So do you think it may also be like just trying to find some type of comfort?
Um, yeah, you could say that because at the time, like I said, I hadn't told anybody.
Hmm.
Matter of fact, the only person I had told, not even right when it happened, was my cousin at the time, and she was pregnant. So I actually distanced myself from her because I felt bad because, you pregnant, you carrying a baby, and she trying to help me, and it just was all bad. So I remember like distancing myself from her, saying like, "Oh, I'm fine. It's okay. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine."
Right.
You know. So yeah, that was definitely a part of it too.
Okay. So how long would you say that that dark place lasted?
um, I would say from January up until March.
Okay. All right. So what did you do on your end to kind of well, first off, let me say I'm glad that you went and got counseling.
Thank
You know,
you.
I had another episode. Actually, I did my little motherless child. Kind of by
Mhm.
myself. And me and my cousin, we're in the same boat. We both talked about how kid or adult, if you have any type of traumatic experience, you need to seek counseling. You-
Mhm.
And
And in the Black community, I think therapy is looked down upon. I don't know why.
right,
I don't know why we won't go to therapy. I don't know why we're gonna try to get help, but it's definitely like not a thing.
right. Yeah, that's true. Sometimes I just kind of feel like it may be because most of us are taught to not let anybody have pity for you.
Mhm.
It's like you got to be tough, you got to be strong. Because
Yeah.
we've been through a lot as a race. So
Yeah.
I think that may have something to do with it. But so you what did you do to come out of that dark place outside of counseling?
Um. See, she gave me exercises to do. So there were like mental exercises. Like I got into meditation very heavily. I still meditate to this day. Journaling, I still do that. Um, I was working out for a short period of time. During that time, I honestly I don't anymore. At least not like I'm supposed to.
Right.
Um, so the only things that I took from what she helped me with, like the exercises that she had me do, was journaling and meditating.
Yeah. So it's kind of like refocusing your mind,
Yeah,
something, right?
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's pretty deep right there. You know what they say about an idle mind? They
Hmm.
say an idle mind is the devil's playground.
Yeah.
So, I
It was. It definitely was.
yeah, so I could kind of see, her giving you stuff to keep your mind active instead of,
Hmm.
sitting somewhere maybe, how some people say you ever heard that term, somebody sulking,
Yes.
like,
Yes.
yeah. So I could kind of see that. So so now you got into a better place. Now
Hmm.
you feel like speaking your truth.
Yes.
So let me ask you this, and I'm pretty sure somebody probably thought this.
Hmm.
What made you want to protect the woman in the scenario initially?
Because when it happened or whatever, and like I said, when we were leaving, the way she was, acting towards me, she was very apologetic. Um, I can't remember everything that she said, for
Mhm.
detail. But I just remember her being so apologetic, and I do remember her actually apologizing to me for what happened. So
Yeah.
it made me think like, did he manipulate her in some type of way, or like, what did he say to her to make her think it was okay?
Right.
And I mean, you saw the comments. People were saying like he can be manipulative, like that's his character.
Mhm.
So that was my thought at first. And then I saw actually where uh the other girl had posted her story, whatever, and she had said that it was a girl involved with what happened to her. So it made me think like, is obviously this what he do. This is his
Right.
game. This this what he do.
Right.
Um so I just kept thinking, and it, like you can see, I didn't put her name out there that day that I posted what happened. I like, it was the next day. And it was because I had thought on it and I thought on it. And then I was rereading the messages myself.
Mhm.
And it almost seemed like she was trying to put all the blame on him
Mhm.
because she knew she was gonna send me the messages.
Right.
Like she was trying to get it out of him and like get him to say certain stuff, you know. And then in one of the messages, I think he even said something along the lines of, you're trying to play victim now. you trying to put this on me. It was something like that. You trying to put it all on me.
Right,
And I was like, no. I just thought to myself, no.
right. So looking back, do you regret trying to keep the woman, the other woman in the scenario out of
Yes.
it?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So with you coming out and telling your story, it looks like you motivated some other women
Yeah.
to come forward. So I mean, it's really good that to see that somebody motivated you. You
hmm
motivated several other people.
Yeah.
From what I saw, like, do you know any of the other women?
That's what's crazy. I don't. I don't know any of them. Never seen them. Nothing.
Right.
Nothing.
Okay. So do you feel like it's somewhat of a sisterhood between y'all? Like kind of like I've been in some dark places before, and the only people I wanted to talk to was people that could understand, my
Mhm.
situation or
I will say this is like the girl, I don't want to say her name, the one who had like the exact same experience with me. Like it was him and another girl, and she was like set up in some more stuff.
hmm
It was very refreshing to talk to her
right,
because it's like it's the exact same thing. Like
right,
it's crazy.
right. So let me ask you this. So whatever happened whenever you got the police involved, like how come
Um,
he never got any charges or anything?
so um in January or whatever, because it happened December 31st.
Right.
So the whole month of January, like I was dealing with it, I was battling it, and I remember like going home around Valentine's Day because my sister was born on Valentine's Day, and so I went up there like the weekend of or the weekend after, and like my mom, she didn't pressure me into talking, but she just kept saying, what's wrong? What's wrong? She was like, you're not acting like yourself because I'm funny. Like my whole family can tell you I'm funny. I crack jokes. Like I'm funny. So, but when I went up there that weekend, it's just I wanted to go out for her birthday. I wanted to go home and I wanted to get back to school. I just was not feeling it. Like, you know,
Right.
and she just kept asking me, what's wrong? You're not acting like yourself. And I just kept saying, I'm fine. And I'll never forget, we was in the living room, we was all watching a movie, and I turned the TV off, and I said, I got something to tell y'all. And I just said it. And the very next day, we went to the police.
Mhm.
And we got up there, told them what had happened. The two officers, I can't remember their name. I know it was an older one, and then he was new at the time because he was taking my statement.
Mhm.
And the older one was there telling him, just guiding him, I guess like training. They were very nice, genuine. They seemed like they wanted me to get justice. They were saying they was gonna follow up. They asked me for the screenshots, all
Mhm.
of it. A month go by, and I remember going back home, and my mom asked me if they ever follow up, and I said no. My mom actually had to reach out to somebody just for them to give me a call. And when I got on the call with the detective, it was a woman. She asked me, well, we talked about the situation. She told me to tell her the story. I did. And I'll never forget, she asked me, did you consent before y'all started drinking? And I was like, I kind of like, I actually like took the phone from my ear and was like, who am I talking to?
Right.
And I said, no, I didn't. I said, in the messages that I sent over, I actually told him no. Like literally, I said no. And she was like, oh, okay, I see it here. And I'm just like, yeah. So it's like she
Right.
wasn't even on her P's and Q's with the situation.
Mhm.
And she said that she would give me a call back. And I said, okay. Another month go by. We on month two. uh that's when they said that they wanted to get on a Zoom call with me and talk about it and stuff like that. And I remember the Zoom call happening like it wasn't even in the same week, maybe 3 weeks, 2 weeks later. I can't really remember. It didn't happen like the day after she told me that they wanted to talk to me or whatever. It was a while before I even got the link.
Right.
So we get on the Zoom call, and they basically, all I heard from what they were telling me was they weren't going to pursue charges because it was he say, she say. Even though I had proof, like I had these messages. And I like remember like just being so mad. I was just so upset. And I'm thinking like, y'all can't even get him for soliciting alcohol to a minor, like nothing. Y'all don't want to do nothing.
Right.
And so that's what I took from that whole Zoom call. They didn't want to do anything. And I remember crying again. And I told myself, I'm not finna fall back into this hole. I'm not finna do that. So I cried like the rest of that day. And then the next day, I shook back because I told myself literally, he gonna get his.
Right.
I just kept telling myself he gonna get his eventually. So
Right. So that was pretty much a big setback for you.
yes, mentally, yes, it was.
Right.
And it kind of like discouraged me from ever trying to say anything ever again.
Right. So with you coming forward here recently, like in a perfect world, what would you like to happen? What would you like to be the outcome, from you coming forward?
I want legal justice for sure. Because of what happened in the past, I'm kind of not hopeful. I'm trying to be. Um, that's just what I really want. That's what I really want. And the fact that more girls have came out and said that he has done this, every time like I see these stories, even though they are sad, they're traumatic, it just makes me a little bit more hopeful because it's like, hopefully if they see that he's a serial predator, they will do something
Right.
about him.
Right. So your incident happened in Conway, right?
Yes.
Do you think if you were a white woman,
Yes.
that the outcome would be different?
Yes. I already knew what she was about to ask me. I do.
Okay. All right. Because, I know how Conway, it's a nice city, nice area, but, I hate to say it, in situations like that, Black women get the short end of the stick.
We, it's just, it upset me so much because in the beginning, like I said, the two officers I talked to, they made me feel like very hopeful that day that me and my mom went up there. Like, just for 2, 3 months later, they tell me they can't do nothing.
Yeah.
Or they won't do anything.
Yeah. It's man, I'll tell you this, it's a true story. My mom, she was killed. And well, she was murdered, right? She was murdered by a black guy. That black guy got 7 years in prison, even though I think he took advantage of her and then killed her. Or that happened all in the same time. Let me say that. But he got out after those 7 years. He killed a white man and he got life. And I'm like,
Wow.
you got 7 years for taking somebody's
Wow.
life. You know what I mean? And so
Wow.
that's why I really feel like, I'm sure in the city of Conway, it would have been a lot different if you were a white woman. Just like, even with all these people that's coming out, let them find a white one. Oh yeah, let them find a white one. He going to jail. What was it like seeing a bunch of different women reach out to you and they're from different places across the state?
That was the moment I realized that he was a serial predator. and not even just with my situation, because each situation is different.
Mhm.
So it was just like, this his thing, like this what he do.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it was kind of just mind blowing.
Right. Right. Yeah. I kind of I felt the same way, and
Yeah.
I'm really I'm waiting for some of the teeth whitening people to come out
Yeah.
because I feel like it's probably somebody there. I'm really waiting for to see if somebody, like back when he was younger,
Hmm.
come out,
Yeah.
because me myself personally, I'm upset because he claims my hometown is his hometown, even though I don't know him. But
Yeah.
it's the simple fact that he had a oh, it was kind of like a little like kid thing at the park,
Yes, I saw that. I saw that.
and me and some of my people, like the park he had it at is on the same side of town I grew up on.
Hmm.
So, I talked to some of my people. I'm like, who is dude? And they like, I don't know. you know. I'm like,
Yeah.
where he from? Like what side of town he from? I don't know. So it's like one of my partners, he actually said, I felt like Buddy knew something was finna happen. He knew somebody was finna come out. And that's why he trying to do this little kid thing. Because I'm like, I didn't hear a dude until like last year. And it was about teeth whitening. Like,
Hmm.
that's it. I've never heard of him, none of that before.
Hmm.
Never seen him, I don't think. And it's like, so you have a little fun day for kids, and I don't ever even remember. You know how everybody
Yeah.
from one side of a small town, you know them people because you grew up with them, you've been around them. I'm like, I don't even know him. I know
Hmm.
people your age that grew up on this side of town. I don't know you, and it's like I just felt like he was doing that to kind of like by the opinion of people, to make it seem like he's just a good dude. And it's
Hmm.
like knowing you got skeletons in your closet,
Yes.
and then the simple fact, like we don't get down like that. I got daughters, I got sisters,
Yeah.
I got young daughters, like
Yeah.
my oldest is 8,
Hmm.
and it's like this is the world that they have to grow up in. And
Hmm.
I don't ever want that. I'm real overprotective of them too. So
Yeah.
I don't want nothing like that to happen to them. And if it were to happen, I do want them to come out and say something, man. I'm probably
Hmm.
gonna be in jail. you know what I'm
I
saying?
understand. I understand.
It's just frustrating, and it's like, why do that to another? Like black people, we go through enough,
Exactly.
and
We
it's like,
do.
and I'm pretty sure most people that came forward were probably black women.
Hmm.
And it's like, why? You know what I'm saying? Like, man, come on, man. Like, you got a mama, you got a grandma, probably aunties,
Yeah.
sisters, maybe. It's like, come on, man. It's like so frustrating, man. I'm sorry. I know I'm rambling, but
Yeah.
that's
No,
just,
you fine.
yeah, that's just how I really feel. And it's like, don't use us. Don't use my city and our people and our side of town that we grew up on, that we enjoy. Don't use us. How does it feel being back in that good place? And because it sounds like the place that you're in now is better than where you were before the incident even took place.
Yes. Um, Wonderful. I am so happy. I hear people tell me all the time, you're glowing, like my skin is clear.
Yeah,
I picked up a few pounds, happy weight. I'm glad for it. Um, Life has been good. It's been amazing.
yeah,
I
yeah,
graduate in December with a marketing degree. Um, it's it's great.
yeah.
Life is
That's good, man. That's really good and refreshing to hear. Because
yeah.
some people, a lot of people that go through what you go through, they don't turn out so well.
No.
Kind of like the one lady I saw who had like a picture of like 4 medication bottles.
Yes, yes, for PTSD and I think maybe antidepressants, maybe. But
Yeah,
I know it was for PTSD for sure, which is I suffered from that too after the incident. Um, so my heart really went out to her because I chose not to medicate myself. There's nothing wrong with people who do.
Right.
Um, I didn't want to because my family kind of has an addictive spirit. So, I feel like I didn't even want to take it there.
Right. Right. So let me ask you two questions, and
Hmm.
I guess we can wrap it up after.
Okay.
Was it hard, like dating or being in a relationship after?
Yes. Yes, 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 it was because like I said, I was very promiscuous, and I feel like that tarnished my reputation a little bit because I feel like nobody wanted to take me serious. So that was a bump I had to get over. And so when I did start finding people that, we
Mhm.
was dating or whatever, I kind of mm, didn't feel the same way about sex.
Mhm.
Uh, so that part was kind of, I don't even know the word to describe it. I guess messed up
Mhm.
because, I went through that and then I was promiscuous. Now I'm trying to do better because I wanted to have healthy, intimate relations with whoever I was dating at the time. So I actually became celibate for a while, long time. So that helped a lot. And now, like, my dating life is very normal. Matter of fact, it was some guys who reached out to me that I had dated kind of like uh after that time, like they just put two and two together, like the timeline or whatever, everything. And they reached out to me and apologized, saying, I'm sorry if I ever made you feel uncomfortable. And, it wasn't even them, it was me.
Mhm.
Because they didn't even know I was going through all of this. And so it's not even y'all, it was me.
Right. Right. Okay.
So, but now, um, it's very normal. I'm very happy. I'm not dating anybody. I'm not talking to anybody, but it is normal.
Right. Right. All right. So I actually just thought of another question. So just two more questions.
Okay.
Um, One of them would be, if you could talk to any woman that's been taken advantage of
Hmm.
by Tyler Dixon,
Hmm.
what would you say or recommend to them to get past it?
Um, it's gonna be okay. And I know people will be like, "Oh, that's easier said than done," but take it from me because I've been there. It it will be okay, and you are not alone. I remember one of my biggest things was thinking I was alone. Like, that was one of the reasons I didn't want to say anything because, I had no idea he had done this to so many people, but I
Mhm.
thought I was alone. So you're not alone. It is going to be okay.
Mhm.
Um, Tell somebody, talk to people, tell your friends, tell your family. I say go to therapy for everything. So I'm gonna say go to therapy, get you some professional help because if you don't have, your friends and family, like for somebody who doesn't want to go to therapy, if you don't have your friends and family, you need to go to therapy. You're going to need somebody to talk to get through this.
Mhm.
Um, my biggest thing is just you're not alone. Like, even girls who haven't been sexually assaulted or raped, by him, you're not alone. You're never alone. Never.
Right. Right. So this is gonna be my last question. After you came out, and maybe some of those other women have came out, has he tried to get in contact with you? Okay. So it was
It,
just
it would be in his best interest not to.
Right, right. So pretty much the last time you heard from dude was not too long after the incident with
Hmm.
you guys.
Well, actually, this is something that I never put out either. So of course, people. I put the text messages where he was like, "Oh, did you enjoy the night?" And I was like, "I can't talk right now," or "I'm driving," whatever. Actually, on social media, he would still like slide up on my pictures and stuff and put the hard eyes, or he would be like, "Oh, you fine," or just compliment me or something like that. I
Mm-hmm.
just never would respond. I would just open them.
Right.
So he was still doing stuff like that, which made me think even more, this is his thing, this is what he do. And
Right.
he doesn't see anything wrong with it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of like watching a episode of Law and Order. It's kind of like he has this all planned out. Law
Hmm.
and Order SVU, by the way.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's like he has it all planned out. And it was like I was talking to some of my guys earlier, and I was like, most people, if you mess with somebody, we call them a random. I'm just gonna be honest.
Hmm.
Like if it's not somebody that you normally with, it's a
Hmm.
random. You don't just text them the next day, the next morning. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You wait on them. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? It's like, and it seemed like that was a pattern,
Yes,
and
because he said that to me, and the other girl
yeah,
that was involved. And then I had I think at least two other girls tell me that he texted them the same thing, like the morning after. Did you enjoy yourself? Did you enjoy your night?
right.
And it's like, no,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
actually didn't.
Yeah, yeah. And it's kind of like, I think it's a sociopath, where it's kind of like,
Mm,
it's kind of like he wants to be like, yeah, like he wants somebody to say, yeah, I loved it. Can't wait to come
yeah,
back. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? It's like, come on, man. Dude, it was shady from the jump. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on.
very.
And this is another thing that I did get upset about was when I read it. I was like, who has a kickback and your homeboys don't get invited first? I'm like, them the
And
first
you know
people you
what?
gonna tell.
That's something else I can clear up really, really quick. Because I saw where a lot of people was like, if I walked in and I saw nobody was there,
Right,
I
right.
would have left. But my thing is, we was just cool. I honestly thought the kickback was just a bust. Like, it was New Year's Eve. People had other stuff to do. I thought it was just gonna be a bust. I didn't think nothing of it, you know. So
Right.
yeah,
And then he wasn't no stranger to you.
exactly,
So why would you think anything like that? Especially if y'all had already been intimate before and there was nothing weird happened during those times.
exactly.
So it's like, yeah, that's kind of crazy. But I guess we're gonna wrap this one up. Cam, hey, I appreciate you for
Thank you
taking
for
some
having
time
me.
out. Also, hey, if you ever want to come back on, we could do another episode, whatever you got going on. Hey, if you ever having a moment where you need somebody, feel free, reach out. Hey, I know a guy, he doing counseling services for free, all
Oh,
that.
okay.
And maybe even, some of the women that you've interacted with, if they, a lot of people, they just don't want to pay for counseling.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you got some that don't want to go. I got a guy, he doing free counseling services. And,
Hmm.
not to mention, people that's been in that situation, they just need a good support system.
They do. They do. Shout out to my support system because I let all my family and friends know who already knew about the situation. I let them know like, hey, I'm finna do this. I'm finna go ahead and do this.
Right.
And they were so amazing. Like, it was beyond me. I
Right. Right.
really, really appreciated them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that's really great, man, that
Yeah.
you didn't let it take control of you. As they say, you took control of it.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
so now, I guess we just gotta hopefully the other women involved come forward because I'm pretty sure it's probably some more. And
Yeah.
and I hope everybody can get the help, that they need. But
Yes.
Until next time, everyone, our viewers or listeners, potential viewers or listeners, we out.